Welcome back to Sunday night's main event. Mike McGuire here, and we're going to get right into it. In fact, may I dare say we are going to get a taste.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Can we get a taste?
Mike McGuire, I was promised Michael Landsberg.
Yeah.
Is this off the record?
It's not off the
I thought
record.
this was off the record.
Wow.
Where's Landsberg?
I apologize. I
I
apologize.
can't see it tonight.
Yeah, give it a K.
You guys like me probably spent a lot of time watching those OTRs, especially when
So
indie
much.
wrestlers were on, right?
man.
Yeah.
They
That
were
was-
so cool.
That was kind of like it broadens your horizon to like the inside of wrestling, you know, like that wrestling with shadows, beyond the mat, and OTR all at the same time, you know.
before it was all really commonplace. It was those were cool.
Yeah.
What a time to be a wrestling fan too, like watching the transition from just growing up believing that whatever character was whatever character, and then you find out all this backstage stuff and
you almost become more interested in what's happening.
Honestly,
in the backstage, the ongoings, you know, that becomes its own story.
Mm-hmm.
that's what keeps me interested in watching the shows is seeing who shows up and things like that, and also knowing the business side of it a little bit. And I don't pretend to know it all. I'm not privy to the info that guys like Meltzer and Mike Johnson or whatever get, but you know, it's just fun to kind of see what happens next. And
Always.
I guess that's a perfect transition for you guys and where you've ended up now. I know it's a story you've talked about before, so I'm not going to bug you about the nitty gritty, but what a ride you have had through the years. So basically started in Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the biggest breaks, I guess, came with Chikara, and that led to AEW. But of course, there was a stop in WWE along the way.
There was a little
two
and a half year stop in a factory.
Nice little factory
in Orlando.
job. Nice little factory job. You know, working on the assembly line.
A lot of rolls.
A lot of roles. We started in Montreal, and this is really when we started. Was before the indie scene in Montreal was much of anything.
I mean, there was like two companies.
Yeah,
and if like we had the internet, but you know, you don't realize you have no idea indie wrestling exists. Basically,
Yeah.
None at all. And it was, you know, it's your classic church basement wrestling. You know, that's just what it was. And through the years, you know, there was a solid group of people in the Montreal scene who started breaking out. And with that, going to, you know, your PWGs and your Ring of Honors and stuff like that, and bringing that knowledge back to home and helping the guys who are still there branch out and make more connections. And
that's what we did. We were part of that group that kind of broke out.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, we went to Chikara, and that was really where we made a name for ourselves on the independents, you know, with Mike Quackenbush and that group there.
Yeah.
We should probably, for those that are listening just to the audio exclusively, we should introduce properly Matt Lee and Jeff Parker, 2.0 from AEW. And so people are getting used to the voice. Jeff, say hello.
Hello.
Matt, say hello.
What's going on, guys?
Now you know who's who if you're just listening to the audio. So.
Oh, yeah.
Now you know.
Get a taste.
It's going to get loud.
Get a taste
It's gonna
right
get
here
loud.
tonight.
I'm going to warn all of you right
The
now.
main event.
We'll bring it down very nice. I'll talk very slow, but it's going to get loud.
Yeah, not me.
It's going to get real
I don't
loud.
do the low.
I like Jeff's soft jazz. You do the soft jazz. You guys have been doing this show now for a while on YouTube, closing in on 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah. Wow. He's really been watching.
Did his homework.
Yeah, absolutely. But I subscribe too. I got to pay attention.
Oh,
to
friend of the
what's
show. Yeah.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, buy a T-shirt. How about that?
Yeah, that's actually next on the list here. In fact,
This guy's
the
a
one
cheapskate, hasn't done it yet.
look at this room. Who's a
Yeah,
cheapskate?
I know.
I don't see a 2.0 t-shirt.
I don't see a
That's all I'm
It's
saying.
coming. It's coming. I didn't see a 2.0 interview until this week. So there you go.
That's fair. That's actually fair. That's very fair. But yeah, for the listeners, it's the show rules on YouTube. Generally every Sunday morning, we have a nice little sit down, a chit chat about the what's what, the who's who. Give it a Sunday morning.
Been on a bit of a hiatus.
Been
last
on a
2
hiatus.
weeks.
Life
a lot of stuff going on in
life's
life.
been busy.
And,
Life's been busy.
you know,
So we try and be as consistent as possible. You know, we try and be there every Sunday morning.
you get a show. You get a
10:30
show. If you
a.m.
don't, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, tough cookies.
You subscribe, you check, and that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's
Was the social media aspect, was the streaming show part of the plan once leaving the NXT system?
we had started prior to leaving NXT. We did a show similar to what we're doing now. What was it called?
Everrise Live.
Everrise Live.
Feels
How
like
did
a
I
lifetime
forget?
ago.
Yeah, I know. We
Feels
did
a
like
lifetime
25
ago.
episodes of that, and we picked up the second we got, you know, we parted ways with them.
Yeah, because at the time we were doing it on Saturday mornings on WWE social media stuff, and we had just made the move over to WWE's YouTube channel. After the first week we did, that's when we got let go.
Yeah.
The beauty of it is though, is that we got let go on a Friday and our show would always come out Saturday morning.
So we wasted no time. You know, we filmed that night. That night.
Yeah, like three hours after we got the call, filmed the show, set up a new YouTube channel and everything, and got it going. So it was immediately, yes, we know we need to lean into this because this is such it's a fun passion project. We have a blast doing it, and the other side is you get to create a little fan base outside of just what you're watching on the wrestling program. So that's what's super fun.
That's like and everybody, I don't want to say independent wrestlers, but even at AEW, everybody kind of does these little side projects, whether it's a vlog or like a cooking show or our show. These, I mean, there's 1,000 vlogs, right?
Oh yeah.
You got VT, you got Sammy, you got Ethan Page.
Yeah, there's tons.
What are they doing? Toy vlogs, like these toy hunting stuff. These
stuff,
losers.
Yeah,
the toys.
Twitch.
Grow up,
with
guys.
Video games. What am I?
Oh, yeah. Look what I'm talking to.
Yeah. Look at this.
At least it's
it's turned off the light.
That's gonna work great for the radio audience.
So safe to say you guys are staying busy. You're finding other avenues to stay creative. As far as your interaction, your participation with AEW, since you guys showed up on the scene, you were basically right in the thick of things.
Absolutely.
Everybody knew you as Everrise. Those who were watching NXT. And the word was always like, watch these Everrise guys. They're good. And I'm not saying this to pump your tires. Like, people were getting into it.
Yeah,
we know about, and we're going to talk about over there. We're not going to talk about over there anymore after this. But when you leave that system and you go into AEW, did you have any idea what they had planned for you at all off the hop? And for those that aren't familiar, some of your first interactions were with people like Sting and Eddie Kingston and Darby Allin, and Moxley, and
So it all came together very quickly, just in a matter of days, less than a day, maybe.
Yeah.
And so we part ways with I almost said WCW. we part ways with WWE. And then 6 weeks later, we're in the ring live on Dynamite in the middle of Jacksonville at Daly's Place, live on Dynamite. Jon Moxley, Sting, Darby Allin,
Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Just thrown into the deep end.
It was just unbelievable.
Which in all honesty, after you spend a good 2.5 years just trying to get some sort of traction under you, trying and not really getting the opportunities, and then you start on your first night and you're thrown into that situation, to coin the phrase of, it's a Tony Khan catchphrase, but let's go.
Yeah,
let's go.
Let's effing go.
So ready for it, and it hasn't stopped since, which we've just
tried to keep that momentum going. And I think the one thing that we learned from our time over there is good soldiers are the first to die. Okay, and we want to be squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? And that's what we've been doing. CM Punk wants to come in, no problem. CM Punk, we'll take you out.
Welcome.
I don't give a rat's ass.
Welcome.
He doesn't give a rat's ass. Garcia doesn't give a rat's ass. Nope. All right, Sting, no problem.
Yeah,
Chris Jericho, no problem.
No problem.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease. Let that be a lesson for everybody out there.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. If you want to go from what we saw on the screen, you definitely got the grease. Okay, I want to jump into some fan stuff here. We'll talk a little bit more about what's coming up, of course. The tag team scene in AEW is incredible, just how many teams there are to begin with. But the SNME radio family, they jumped in immediately after hearing that you guys were going to be on the show. One thing that Kirk wants to know is, now that you have an AEW connection, Moxley, everything else, do you still have a beef with one Renee Paquette?
That will never end.
No, we'll never end.
That will never end.
We saw the eyes that she gave to the title the day that we won that belt in Cincinnati. She walked by with her child. She had her eye on the gold, and I'm never going to let it go. I'll never forget that look on her face. She's a little bit of a coward. That's all I'm going to say.
Going to hold on to that grudge for a very long time. She's
That's
Canadian. You figured we'd get along.
That's it. I mean, maybe that's why Moxley keeps he's got a beef with us. That could be the issue right there.
Yeah,
we keep calling out his wife.
This is all
the mother of his child.
That's a fantastic point.
You guys are super friendly. You're Canadian. You're fun to talk to, but man, you guys got some questionable ideas.
Just trying to make a name, bro. We're just trying to get over.
Very Canadian question here. We have to know the answer to. Ryan Penton wants to know, what's your go-to Tim Hortons order?
So I'm going to say this right here.
Yeah.
Right now,
get it out. I know
you
what
can quote me on this.
Yeah, please.
You can pick it up on all the sheets. Tim Hortons.
Yeah. Give
overrated.
Yeah, it stinks.
Overrated.
The coffee stinks.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now. You give me here's a little free advertising.
Free advertising.
McDonald's,
like they need it.
McDonald's coffee
McDonald's.
takes the cake over Tim Hortons. No doubt about it.
Agreed.
Not even close.
No one ever had a good meal at Tim Hortons.
I'll take a medium dark, medium black coffee, please.
Maybe when they had the soup in the bread
To
bowl,
go.
maybe. But if that, no.
But I used to have the chili. I used to get a French vanilla
okay.
every day, and then I got sick of it.
Yeah, of course.
And we'd like to thank our sponsor, Tim Hortons, for being a part of the show. I'm kidding. That part will definitely be on the online version, though, because we don't know where our affiliates are hosting that. But it's staying in. It's staying in.
That's hilarious.
Ask Matt which bubblegum smacks the best.
Oh, good question. Good question. I'm not really. I mean, I think bubblegum very underrated, but I typically go mint, because I drink a lot of coffee. You never know with the breath.
Not Tim Hortons coffee, obviously.
Right. So I'm a mint guy, and I go cube mint.
Mm-hmm.
Any type of cubed gum. It's got to be in the cube.
How many cubes?
Is that the ones in the tin or the ones in the paper?
No. And in like the plastic container.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll tell you right now. So if I'm on my way to the gym, I'll do two on the way to the gym, and when I park the car, I take another 2. So I'm pounding 4 gums before I get in there.
It's a real big chew.
Get a stretch going, get some music going, get a pump going. That's how you keep the strong jawline.
We're in the studio right now, and I'm literally looking right just over my shoulder here. We have a box full of gum.
Yeah,
just a box full of gum.
But if we're talking bubble gum, Hubba Bubba original, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Bazooka Joe, if you want to read a little comic.
Who doesn't like to be entertained? Who doesn't like to be entertained while you're Okay, so that's some of the fan questions. We'll get to a couple more here. Sure. If you're just tuning in, we have Matt and Jeff from 2point0 AEW Tag Team joining us here on Sunday night's main event. Fellas, the tag team scene in AEW is lauded as being probably the most diverse in North America right now. You have Jurassic Express as your tag team champions, loads of competition, battle royals galore to see who's going to be facing them coming up at Revolution. Obviously, you want a stake in that match. So when it comes to staying in the tag team scene with so much variety and so many different competitors in there, how do you feel you're managing to stay where you are as far as being noticed, as far as being relevant, and as far as getting the opportunity you have? What do you think is the key to that success?
I think we're still trying to figure that out, to navigate those waters.
For sure.
Right. We're still trying to, we're still relatively new, right? Maybe 6 months into this AEW run. And we've managed to make a bit of a name for ourselves in the tag team division.
Yeah.
And to keep that rolling moving forward, I think you just got to keep taking names, man.
You got to keep.
Keep taking names.
Since we walked into AEW, we've taken shots and we've thrown punches at some of the biggest and some of the best. And the thing about throwing punches at people is you're not going to win every fight. It's just when you pick a fight, you're not going to win every one of them. But we're going to keep picking fights. And I think for us, there's also a very big element of we do what I feel nobody else does in the way that we approach professional wrestling. And you look at that tag team scene we're talking about. If you watch this past episode of Dynamite
did you guys
on
see it
Wednesday,
like this battle royal, 10 teams?
The amount of talent in that match
FTR,
alone.
the Young Bucks, the Ass Boys, 2.0,
tons,
Pride and Powerful.
Ortiz, who I can't stand, but they're in there. It's Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. Like there's just so many teams in there. It's just like when you look at it top to bottom, some of the absolute best teams of this generation of wrestling. So, hey.
And that's only half. I think there's going to be another half this week.
Yeah. So, it's just picking a lot of fights.
We do have another battle royal coming up. We may also, if the rumor mill is saying what it's saying, we may also have another tag team that have the audacity to come into this company calling themselves Matt and Jeff together.
Well, are we talking about the Hardy Boys?
Yeah, I think
we're talking about the Hardy Boys.
Alluding to.
Is that a done deal?
Listen, I haven't seen Jeff Hardy around.
I haven't seen him around.
I don't want to see
I did put out a tweet last week, though. I wanted a bit of that Hardy ass.
You did, and
that's what we want.
All right, just saying. I know that they've been around for quite a while, and that's all great. That's nice, but there's a new Matt and Jeff in town.
Yeah, there is.
We own Matt and Jeff now, so if they want to taste the names back, well, maybe we put it up on a poll.
Get it, boys?
Maybe we put it up on a poll.
Matt and Jeff on a poll match. Jeff? Huh? How about it?
Hey. We said it earlier with CM Punk when he walked in the door. We said, "Hey, welcome to AEW. If Jeff Hardy wants to walk through, I'd be more than happy."
Oh, I'd love to slap the paint off his stupid face.
More than happy to welcome him.
Tell us about Daniel Garcia. And I know that you guys have a history that led up before AEW. You guys had either met or worked with each other before, different promotions. When you see him getting these opportunities as well, and you're there, are you considering yourselves as being, I mean, we see it on TV, especially with the mentorship role, so to speak, and things. But when it comes to behind the scenes, is there a similar relationship between you guys? And how are you guys taking to going from basically being in developmental to one system to having these big encounters with the stars? And what advice are you imparting to people like him? And also at the same time, what kind of advice is being imparted to you? Because you're still relatively, compared to some of the roster, like very, very new on this level of the scene. So what's the best advice going around in both directions?
So to touch on,
it's a 3-part question. So
it really is.
Okay, we got it.
On Garcia, we call him our son, right, on screen, and that dynamic it holds true very much behind the scenes. We care about the kid. We love him. He's one of us, and it's not just a one-way street. Like, he's taught us a lot about professional wrestling, right? He dives into like the technical aspects of wrestling. He loves Japanese wrestling, and he feeds us advice. Hey, what if you try this? And we're learning just as much from him as he is from us.
Absolutely. We love that kid. Like, we became very fast friends, very close, very quickly. It's like, you always have that risk when you're thrown into something with somebody. Are you going to get along personally, professionally? You never know what that's like. And we're having this conversation a couple of weeks ago. It's just like, it feels like we've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
Like, and that's it. We are legitimately very close. We speak every day, every single day, and we're together and we're talking about wrestling all the time and just life.
So when was the first dance? Was maybe 2 weeks after we had debuted, and I don't know if we've told this story before.
Oh yeah,
but it's the debut of CM Punk, right? And Garcia's wrestling Jon Moxley. And this, to close the show, we get beat up by Sting, Darby, Moxley, Eddie Kingston, and we're heading back up the aisleway. And I don't know if we're on the air or not, but we've only been with Garcia maybe 2 weeks at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And we have our arms around each other, and we're beat up, and we're looking out in front of 20,000 people, sold out United Center. And Garcia is just like, I'm gonna curse here. You can beep it out if you want.
Go ahead.
I love you guys. I fucking love you guys. Look at this. I fucking love you guys. Yeah. You know what I mean?
A very real moment. We're just like, so there's that two-way street. Is like, I remember in that moment saying, like, dude, just take this in.
Yeah.
Take this in, take a real moment here. And that's what we're talking about. It's like, we very much, as far as a mentorship, look, this kid he's a natural as far as pro wrestling goes. Like, we say it a lot. He is going to be, and he already is well on his way to being one of the best pure professional wrestlers in the entire world. We're on the entertainment side. So the beauty is we both get to help each other with all that stuff. And, we've went through that WWE system. We've been on TV enough to know there's a difference between how you conduct independent wrestling match and how you
how do you do a match in front of 300 200 people versus how do you do a match in front of 12,000 people?
Big difference. So that's part of what we always try and help him with.
We love the kid so much.
And there were other questions there.
Were other questions.
The last part is just probably having the bigger influences, the Stings, the CM Punks around you, Jon Moxley, all these people who have these wild experience, world champions multi-times over.
Mm-hmm.
How approachable are they? Without name, you don't have to name names or say anything like that, but it seems like there's a very family strong dynamic with a lot of the AEW wrestlers, and you hear that a lot in interviews and things like that. So I'm wondering if that's your experience and if you feel like it's easy to basically talk to anybody there.
Absolutely. There is a huge family and more importantly, there's a big team vibe that goes around in AEW. Like, everybody wants everybody to succeed. Because we know that if together we all put together a fantastic 2-hour program, then we all succeed together. So everybody is so approachable, like from everybody you've mentioned. every single person you've mentioned, everybody that you could think of, you could go up and ask people questions. CM Punk has done plenty of interviews.
Like I don't know who CM Punk was before, but the CM Punk today in 2021, 2022 could not be cooler.
No,
he could not be cool with the entire locker room. Like, I don't know how many times I don't want to bust his reputation, but like he buys pizza for the boys, brings sushi for the boys into the locker room.
And then you'll have a guy like Dustin Rhodes, who's been in professional wrestling for a long time and will always go out of his way just to give you a piece of advice or to come over and tell you if something you did was good, which is something that, you don't always think. A lot of times people are there to correct, oh, that kind of looked bad, you maybe work on this, but to come over and just say, oh, that worked really well, like stuff like that. And then, you have your guy with, I don't like giving him a compliment because the situation things of it, but Chris Jericho. Okay. So before
one of the worst Canadians of all time,
before things got to where they were, I'll have to admit that, he helped us out a lot. He had us on Talk of Jericho, and he gave
very
us
nice.
a lot of very good advice
really
too.
helped us out.
That relationship.
Yeah.
Kind of.
That was nice.
Yeah.
And then we did smash him in the face with a chair.
We did.
Yeah, look, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
He hit me with a bat a few times.
He did.
You got to get noticed. You said it earlier. You got to get noticed.
Right.
You got to get
noticed.
But now the vibe is great. It's absolutely, it's a big, everyone, we're still growing and we're still
I know
and
personally when I'm stuck on a match or like I'm debating, do we go this way or do we go right or do we go left? I'll go talk to somebody like Dean Malenko. I'll be like, what do you think here? What do you think about this detail?
Yeah.
And whatever he tells me is what I'm going to do because it's Dean Malenko.
It's Dean Malenko.
Yeah.
The one question that a lot of AEW fans in particular are having, and I'm not going to get into the details of what he's doing next and everything else, but did you feel an impact with the announcement of Cody leaving the company?
You have to say yes. Like
it was shocking.
It was shocking,
no doubt.
Not something you expect. On a personal level, we got along fantastically with Cody. Like,
it was a relationship that was budding, right?
Yeah.
It was a relationship that was starting to grow and cultivate. So on a personal level, a little bummed that he had left. You know,
he was a big part of welcoming us and making us feel like part of the team and part of the family right away. So it certainly is. It's shocking, but in the business that we're in professional wrestling, like, shocking things happen all the time. So,
and there's a little bit of that 1996 vibe, like, oh, Kevin Nash just left. Oh, Razor just left.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just what it is. It's the way of the professional wrestling business.
That's the way it goes. And everything still continues to move on.
Not unlike sports, right? Like you lose a free agent. You lose a free agent. He's on another team now.
Yep.
The guy was with you for 7 years and he's a star and now he's somewhere else. It's just what it is.
And on our end, we pick up free agents, so it's like we had Bryan Danielson show up. It's like, oh, so anytime there's there's a shift, like there's a shift. You don't know what that's going to mean 6 months down the line, but there's a shift, but then, business gets back to business.
And I think that's the best way to put it. I think a lot of people just were surprised from a reaction level, but when you get to talk to people that are actually there, like you guys, I think this paints a perfect picture for it. And that is that, show business is still business, and it's none of our business really what happens next. But I will say this, I'm definitely in the 2.0 business now. You guys have been absolutely great to have on the show. I can't wait to see what happens in the future with 2.0. Can you give us any indication? Let's say that the Casino Battle Royal goes your way here coming up. If it doesn't happen, what is your next strategy? What are your eyes on the prize? What do you have planned to keep?
Well, I'll tell you right now, there's somebody who keeps opening his mouth, and his name is Bryan Danielson, and he keeps talking about getting his hands on our son. I think, right? Like, wants to mentor him. Wants to mentor him.
Now that
just shove it up your ass,
now
Daniel.
That Garcia as well on his way, he wants to jump on the bandwagon. So there's a lot of people who do a lot of talking. Listen, hopefully the next battle royal goes well. Listen, there's no question we want to be AEW World Tag Team Champions. That is not a question. But there's also a lot of things that we need to take care of. There's a lot of people who need a little bit of attention, and we're going to give it to them.
I'll tell you right now, Squeaky Wheel gets the grease.
The grease.
Squeaky Wheel gets the grease, Michael Landsberg.
Thank you very much, Matt Hardy. All right. They are Matt Lee, Jeff Parker. They are 2.0 from AEW. You can, of course, catch them on AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and quite possibly in a three-way ladder match coming up at AEW Revolution.
Oh, yeah.
Gentlemen,
Revolution live on pay-per-view.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing us a taste.
There you go.
That's how you do it. A professional right there. Professional.
Well done.
Thanks, Landsberg.